Hey Doug, joint practices this week. What are sort of your expectations for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, just to continue to work, continue to evaluate, make progress, and just opportunity to kind of get some good quality work against another opponent besides ourselves.
Can these joint practices be as important or more important than the games because you can kind of pick situations and stuff?
I do. Yeah, you're right. You get to pick the situations, the scenarios. It's very controlled. There's no live tackling or anything like that. It's, but they're physical practices. But you can get quite a bit out of them.
We've seen a lot of fights in these joint practices the last couple of weeks. Do you have is there a punishment for the guys here? Do you warn them about that?
I haven't talked to the team yet. I will these next couple of days. But obviously that's not tolerated. Todd and I, we both obviously respect the game and how we practice against each other. And I know, that he and I will talk, but at the same time, I understand that you do these with guys that and teams that are respected and they're gonna play hard, practice hard, and we've had great success with them, ourselves the last couple of years. So, I definitely won't tolerate it with our guys. That's for sure.
Logistics of practices like these? How long do you work with the Bucs staff to coordinate a plan during that?
These go all the way back to the spring when the preseason scheduling and the games. You're talking about games and things of that nature, and so we've been talking since May, quite honestly, and putting everything together and kind of sign off on it back then, so that. Now the coordinators can just get together and do the scripting and things of that nature.
Do you go super physical today and tomorrow, or is it kind of light workouts today and tomorrow because you just played a game and you've got Tampa coming in for?
Yeah, today's a little bit lighter just because it's a couple hours, several hours. I should say a couple hours. Yeah, 48 hours or so removed from the game. So we'll go a little bit lighter today. Still kind of working out some soreness for the guys, and then we'll ramp it back up tomorrow.
Has this camp been more physical than ones in recent years? Have you added more contact?
I don't know if I've added it as much as just the way the schedule kind of fell for me. When I could have padded practices and things of that nature. You want to have as many as you can, especially early in camp. And then once you start playing games, you really, once we get past this week, I think we're down to one padded practice a week, quite frankly, because the games now become a little bit closer together.
You've talked about the depth of this roster in the past. That really seemed to show through on Saturday night. What's your opinion on that after the first game?
Yeah, it was pleasing to see, all the way through. And it just goes back to, I think, the spring, talking about our young players, talking about the free agents we brought in here, the draft picks, just and developing the entire roster, and obviously you go into camp, we had 91, 90 right now, but you want everybody to have an opportunity and to play, and I was pleased, the other night, just that there wasn't that drop off that you normally see late in games, and our guys, especially the young guys, played well, and that makes it harder when it comes to to cut downs to make sure that you're keeping the right guys.
Can you talk a little bit about what went into the signing of Deshaun and juggling the suspension? Is this just an insurance policy waiting on what Dewey's situation might be, or what went into it?
Well, I mean, when you think about Dewey's situation and Deshaun's situation, they're very similar because they'll probably miss about the same time. And I'm saying that to say, obviously Deshaun making the 53 and things of that nature at the end of camp, but for us too, it's a veteran player that we're familiar with, who gives us more depth, gives us an opportunity at safety that right now, kind of fills a spot, and we've got some young safeties that are playing well, and Savage, right now is not cleared for contact yet as much, but so just gives you another veteran body, and some competition, and looking forward to getting them out there.
This week?
No, probably not till Atlanta.
What do you have in terms of injuries coming out of the game the other night? Guys at home.
Yeah, you know, couple things. We didn't have anything, knock on wood, didn't have anything crazy. Big E says he just has a shoulder. He'll be limited a little bit this week, or at least the next couple of days. Ventrell, you know, with his little Q-tip on his hand, came out well. Foye came out, you know, after about 5 or 6 plays, a little hamstring tightness. He'll be fine. We're just going to limit him. He'll be out today. We won't put him through it. Tyson will work back in. You know, he was out of the game. He'll work back into practice. Get Ezra back a little bit limited, you know, on that heel ankle area. Ton's been cleared, so we'll get him back out there full today and this week. Other than that, it was just some you know, little bumps and bruises, but nothing major.
I've heard a lot of the second-year guys talk about knowing how to take care of their bodies like a pro. This go-around, is that something that they just kind of have to experience and see other guys do? Is that something that you talk to them about? Is that part of that maybe second-year jump that you expect from guys?
You know, we spent a lot of time in the spring sort of onboarding our young players, meaning kind of prepping them and what to expect in camp and how to take care of themselves. And you know, our team of nutritionists and sports science and strength and conditioning staff, medical staff did a great job of that this spring and just educating our players, you know, and then, you know, for me, the message was, hey, over the summer break, you got to run. You got to run and get your lower body ready for, you know, for the strenuous of camp. And, you know, so the guys have really taken that to heart, you know, and they see too with you know, with the weather and the heat and humidity that it's more than just a couple Gatorade bottles at the end of practice. They really have to rest, recover. They got to eat. Got to hydrate properly. All of that.
How much is ETN really evolving as a receiver for you guys? Not just maybe as a safety valve, but somebody who can really put a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, it's, you know, he definitely has the ability to, you know, line up in some empty formations or even, you know, routes out of the backfield, as we saw the other night. And he just continues to impress there. He's got really good hands, catching the football, and we just keep developing that. And he can definitely be an asset for us, you know, outside of the backfield.
A couple of guys in the locker room who are on special teams said that what we've seen as far as your practice on kickoff return in training camp is kind of scratching the surface of the work you've actually put in, meetings-wise and everything else. Do you feel like you're on a track to go into the season prepared for the return and the coverage game based on what we saw the other night, based on what the guys have been working on?
Yeah, you know, we got to continue to work it, and we got to continue to watch all the film around the league and what teams might be doing. You know, Heath does a great job of his meetings in classroom and spending time, you know, diving into this new kickoff rule and this style, and obviously it benefited us the other night a couple of times, but we just got to continue to work it. You know, I still think there's some unknowns. You saw, you know, Bucker did a great job of putting the one ball on the ground, you know, and so you're more experienced kickers. I think you're going to see more of that as maybe preseason or the regular season, you know, comes about. And those are all things that, you know, we just have to be prepared for.
What do the analytics say if you know, in terms of getting the ball in 25 versus getting the ball in 30? Is there a significant difference on that?
It's not a big difference there, you know, because it might be different if it was the 35, like, you know, there's some of the coaches have talked about, but, you know, the 30, I think if you look around the league, it's been anywhere from the 25 to the 30. I mean, we were outside the 30. Kansas City was outside the 30 one time, I think so. But there's really not a big significance. You were talking that 5-yard margin right there.
So is there any benefit to just kicking it up without back in the end zone?
I think it determines, too, like who's back there for the opponent, who's returning the ball. There's some great returners in this league, and so I think you take that into consideration, too, that, you know, now we're in a tight space, and you can kind of, when you see it and you see things open up, you know, a good returner is going to hit that. And so I think you have to take all that into consideration as well.
How did Tank Bigsby get evaluated once you got a chance to see the film, how he performed the other night?
He did a nice job. nice job in the run game, protection, obviously the kickoff returns. You know, he's evolving, he's developing, he's improving every single day. He's one of those players that really, you know, it means something to him and means a lot to him, and the way he practices and prepares and did a nice job, did a real nice job, and now it's something to build on.
What did you and Ryan make of, you know, looking at the tape and seeing Braswell slip a little bit, but then get back up, get back into the play? I mean, yeah, I got overturned, but from an effort standpoint.
You know, that's just, yeah, I mean, that's just one example of many in this football game, I think, where you saw second effort like that, and then really kind of third effort for him, as he did, you know, he did stumble on the route and then be able to, you know, make that type of play. You know, it's just a credit to him. And really that's Ryan's philosophy on defense, you know, and it's that attack and aggressive mentality and swarm to the football. You want to see all 11, you know, when the coach's copy tightens up, you know, on the ball, you want to see 11 guys in that frame, and you know, we saw more than, you know, multiple times that was the case, you know, watching this game. That was a great effort.
Coach, you guys had Breland Speaks on the roster for a few weeks now. What goes into getting a guy from the UFL ranks? Is there specific people on the staff that kind of watch that whole season go by?
Yeah, you know, we have you know, our scouting department. They're looking at UFL. They're looking, you know, CFL. They're looking, you know, European. You know, they're just trying to scour the earth for ball players. And obviously he had a good season this past year, and fortunate to get him.
What did you see out of some of the young edge guys? Seemed like Miles Cole, DJ Coleman were pretty active.
Yeah, both guys did a nice job. You know, some things to correct today and tomorrow, but I think overall, you know, you saw DJ, you know, with his physicality. You saw that playing the edge. Miles is still learning. You know, there were some times where he was a little bit slow coming off the ball, but I think as the game and he kind of settled in, he did some nice job. You know, he did some nice things. You can see his athleticism, his ability to run, his strength, and again, you know, young player, but it was encouraging to watch both those guys play.
What did you see out of the Brian Thomas after watching film?
You know, Brian, you know, we had some opportunities to get him the football. I thought he did a nice job in the run game. You know, something we ask our receivers to do is to block, and then, you know, obviously made that really good tough third down, you know, 3rd and 1 catch down the field, and you know, it was a good start for him to really kind of sink in. I think he'll just continue to improve and learn from, you know, these games.
Just to clarify earlier, do we going to miss probably the first 6 weeks of the season, or, you know, where's?
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to put him in a box or label him, but, you know, it's definitely be, you know, some time. You know, at least first few games possibly. Yeah.
What did you see from the run game early on in this one? Offensive line up front blocking.
I thought, you know, came off the ball extremely fast. Came off the ball physical. You know, we still have to time up some things with the running back and the offensive line. There were some opportunities there that we missed, but, you know, and then game speed. You know, we're game speed, and things were a little bit different. Kansas City does a nice job of attacking the line of scrimmage with their, you know, second level defenders, and, you know, we've got to be able to come off on some blocks there. But I thought overall there were some really good things up front, and, you know, to go over 100 yards in the game obviously is a positive. You know, whether it's regular season, preseason, and again, it's still a work in progress, but pleased, you know, how we started.
Coach, we talked a lot about Trayvon Walker entering, you know, year 3 in the draft class. Chad Muma is entering year 3 as well. I think he made a couple of nice plays out there. What did you see from him?
Yeah, both guys played physical. You know, Trayvon's long. He was disruptive a few times. You like to see him get his hands up a couple times and maybe bat some passes down. Those are all things that, you know, we continue to work on. And then Chad made some really nice plays at linebacker. You know, he was downhill. He was physical. Made a nice tackle in space. You know, on a pass, and then special teams. You know, he's just learning how to play and learning how to play fast. And you can kind of see it with those guys. When I say play fast, it means their mind is freed up just so they can just play. And they know their responsibility, know their assignments, and both guys played good.
Thank you. Cool. Thanks,
Thanks, Doug.